Beg your pardon? Meredith, who is this coarse person with the foreign accent?
All right. Well, it's a holiday special, as they say in the industry, isn't it? Hi, Sylvia.
Yo, 'tis the season.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Normally you go with some unintelligible foreign language, but now you went with a, what'd you call it? Was that jive? Is that talking jive? What was that?
I think it's like Dickensian funk.
Okay, pretty cool. We're not gonna do what every podcast at this time of year they do, the recaps of the year. They don't produce a new thing. They just like clip the highlights from the year and stuff. And we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna say this is the award-winning Talking Ass podcast.
Whoop!
The Talking Ass. We got Spotify awards. I believe I don't remember the wording exactly, but I believe it was something like most popular podcast ever or something like that. That was this year. None of it would have happened without all the lovely guests, including you. And some were promoting things, but others were just agreeing to a lovely conversation and produced the most interesting stuff, I thought. Were the people who really had no reason to be on a podcast, but wanted to impart something, or I don't know, like me, sometimes I appear on other people's shows because I want to get my own thoughts straight about a topic, I think, but I end up disagreeing with myself like 15 minutes later about everything I said. So anyway, thanks to all the guests and the listeners. Spotify would call you fans, but I called it listeners. Call yourself whatever
you could go for a Gaga type thing.
Yeah, call yourself whatever you want as long as you're not a consumer.
Have kitty cats.
Yeah, don't be a consumer, that's all. Now, couple of things. I went to Estonia on my break. As you may have heard, we were in international waters with the lovely, radiant Ronald R. Rosenberg, our attorney. And
CD.
couple of things. I always go, when I go to Eastern Europe, I never leave without having eaten something weird. But in my lifetime, these places, all the Baltic countries, have become just lovelier and lovelier and less what you would call exotic. So there was no exotic local thing that I hadn't already tried. I mean, I've eaten bear claw and all that stuff before in a Russian restaurant. So instead I ate something African. Do you know what animal I ate? I mean, I didn't eat the entire animal. I just tasted a bit. And I didn't hunt it. But it was already packaged and dead, vacuum packed, so...
Antelope.
Zebra.
Oh.
Yeah. But it was like cured, sort of dried, salted, that kind of thing. So it wasn't really, I wouldn't say it tasted any... But that did have a little sort of gamey twang to it. But not that different from if you've eaten a similar type of venison, like cured dried venison or something.
It's horse, isn't it, really? Let's face it.
Yeah, it's pretty...
Did
it
you
is
see
a horse.
the stripes on it? Because that's on their skin, not their hair, isn't it? Well, it is for tigers, at least.
Yeah, I didn't eat it with the hide.
Did
The
you
hide...
see the stripes on its skin?
No, I didn't taste the stripes either. Another thing I did was a Russian banya. You know, with like old Russian
Bananas.
men like whacking themselves, not whacking themselves off.
Off?
No, whacking themselves with like twigs in the sauna in front of...
You did that, your lot.
No, Finnish people.
Yeah.
My lot can be so many things. You need to be careful there. Yes.
Category 1A.
Old school Finnish people do it, but this was like a big thing. I've never been to a proper one like this in Finland either, where it's a big public one where there are like rows and rows of, like, the actual sauna stove is in the middle, and it's like almost like a theater. The sauna itself is around the stove and it goes higher up, and there are like levels of how hot you want it, and it doesn't matter what level you're on. There's some old like Russian guys with their wrinkly foreskins are like in your face whacking themselves with twigs. So
is there parts going into the back of your neck because it's on a tier?
Well, yeah, but then they also had sauna hats, which are a thing. Growing up in Finland, I never had sauna hats. I never knew.
Protect you from the penis behind you.
That's one thing, and I think also the steam for those who are balding, because a lot of old people are balding, and the steam might not be so nice on the scalp.
I know it's what dries out your hair.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was very expensive. Like, I think it's become more of a quirky thing for tourists to do, so the price has gone up. And I think like the local oldies who were there, I think they have like a season ticket or something. They're not paying what I had to pay for it. But yeah, cool experience. It's also made me think. I got a little sad because, well, very soon we will release, maybe after Christmas, maybe after the New Year, we'll release a episode with a very interesting fella who knows about the ways of the world in ways that I do not or you could never, but he'll be an interesting guest. It's already been recorded, so I can tease it now. He was one of the bucket list items for the show, and we got him. And with him, we talked a little bit about the Baltic countries and their role in the war. Don't mention the war. But I got a little sad because I feel like looking at a map of Europe, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, those will be a pawn on the chessboard that NATO will sacrifice. The Western Alliance will sacrifice to Russia in this new war we're in, whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm a friend of Estonia and Tallinn, and it's have you been?
To
Tallinn.
yes,
Oh, cool.
I have been there once.
Yeah.
It was like a foot of snow.
Oh yeah, the one thing they don't know how to do is clear snow off
No.
the streets. They are not good at that. All right, we got some feedback from Jack. By the way, the golf episode, super popular. Did extremely well. The golf, it was more a golf architecture, golf course construction. Very niche, but it did very well. So people are into golf out there. Also, a bunch of like golf industry people contacted me, trying to, wanting to get on the show and all that. And to all of them, I'll say standard response is, hey, this is an award-winning podcast. It ain't that easy. You're gonna come with something for me. What's in it for me, Do you have any jokes, for example?
You need like cookies.
Yeah, gingerbread or something. Yeah, come with gingerbread.
M&Ms.
Yeah, you gotta bribe Sylvia as well. Jack says, enjoyed the episode. Probably good for a reappearance to coincide with a major like the Masters. Would be curious to get his thoughts on the courses like Augusta and what he sees as an expert versus average fan. Absolutely no way I'm going in the long grass in Oz. Oz meaning Australia. Yes, actually, Jack, we already had that thought, and barring any disasters, Ernie will be back for the Masters preview next year. So
Augusta is just so nice, and it's smooth. It's a bit like having like a really average like Thursday night meal that you just know there's nothing too spicy in it, but it's acceptable. If you want to,
well, that's what it looks like to the casual fan, because it's so perfectly lush and green and pink flowers.
Go for that idea where it's like, but really there's a secret
Well, yes.
underworld of challenge, or you could go for like get him to answer questions about a links golf course.
Yeah, well, the Masters is not a links course, so we'll do that. Anyway, also we had Johann, probably some kind of German. He said, more of this. You only scrape the surface. Yeah, that was about the golf episode as well.
You didn't get a clean hit with the golf ball.
Yeah, and somebody also said we wanted more inside information, and to that I have to say we will go deeper, but much like with our AI chats, we have to start by introducing to the people. Like most people don't even know what golf is, and golf construction and architecture and the environmental impact of it. These are super interesting topics, but you got to start somewhere, We did have some insider knowledge, didn't we? He mentioned architects and how they like to do greens and stuff like that. So congratulations, Sylvia, on winning the regular season of the Talking As Podcast Fantasy League.
Oh yes, I have really bashed all of you.
Now is the semi-finals, though. We're not against one another in the semi-finals, so we might meet in the finals. Semi-finals, I forgot to change my defense like a dum-dum, so that's not good. Other than that, in my other league, it's very annoying because I was eliminated from the playoffs ages ago, but what happened is all my guys started playing after that. And there's like this consolation playoffs. You see, like who's gonna finish fifth or whatever. And there's no money involved. I still end up paying the same, but I'm gonna end up finishing the season with a winning record. Because since I was eliminated, I've just kept winning in that one too. So yeah, annoying there. Anyway, it will be fun if we make it to the final. For our ships perverts, I wanted to highlight a ship that was discovered outside Alexandria. We've talked about cruise ships a lot here. There was an ancient Egyptian cruise ship, like a pleasure craft, discovered outside the port of Alexandria. So look that up on the internet. Very cool. So people been cruising and boozing ever since the days of the pharaohs.
Back in the day, way back.
Okay, now, do you know where we're going today, Sylvia? In our series of island paradises for the holiday special, Christmas is coming and we're doing islands. So where do you think we're going?
Isle of Wight?
We're going to the Christmas Islands.
More than one? There's not more than one.
Yes, see, in the English language, when there's an S, as you might see from the title of this episode, when you put an S at the end of a word, it usually means there is more than one.
Not an ass.
Yeah, I hate to break it to everyone. Christmas Island, the main one, which is the main one we're going to talk about, is not that... It's interesting. There are some interesting bits to it, but this one might be the most interesting bit, is that there are at least two. And now all the diversity perverts out there, don't get your panties in a twist or your gender-neutral undergarments in a twist, because I couldn't find a Hanukkah island or a Kwanzaa island. So we're doing Christmas islands.
Did you search?
No, I'm not gonna have in my search history Hanukkah island. No, the way I know the internet, some kind of porn would come up with that search anyway. So yeah.
Why do you know it like that?
So, why do I say more than one? There's obviously the one that's an overseas territory of Australia. The more famous one is the one that's an Australian territory.
That's the one.
Just south of Java and Sumatra, which belong.
Cocos.
Cocos are another island that we might do later in the podcast, another time. They're nearby. Yeah. But this Christmas island, Australian territory, just south of Sumatra and Java, which belong to Indonesia. They are much, much, much closer to Indonesia than they are to the Australian mainland, to the nearest Australian place you may have heard of. But the other one, so why is there another one? The other one is actually part of Kiribati. And Kiribati is a small nation of islands out there in the ocean, okay? But there is an island that's part of the country of Kiribati that is called Kiritimati.
What?
Okay.
It's a dyslexic
Kiritimati,
nightmare.
yes. But Kiritimati is also Christmas. And it's named after also the same way. Some Westerners discovered it or spotted it, thinking they were the first to discover it. They usually weren't, but and named it after the day because they discovered it on Christmas Day. And same thing happened in Kiritimati. And for those of you who are racistly inclined, you may have figured this out already. See, with the local accents, Christmas, Kiritimati, Kiritimati, yeah, and the T-I, Kiritimati, but in the local language, T-I is pronounced as an S. So it becomes Kiritimati, almost like a Japanese person. Yes, almost like a Japanese person trying to pronounce Christmas. So Kiritimati or Kiritimati is Christmas Island as well. And that one is world's largest coral atoll. Ooh. Also definitely a paradise island. Famous for fishing, and that was actually discovered by James Cook, Captain Cook, Christmas Eve, 1777. It's in the Northern Line Islands in Kiribati, and the most interesting thing about that is that it is the site of British nuclear weapons testing in the 1950s. Operation Grapple, look that up. Yes, so that was done on that Christmas island. Yeah. Kiritimati Island. C-H? No, with a K. Kiritimati. Yeah. So, that one, we'll ignore that one for now. and go back to the main one we were meant to talk
I
about.
like that one, but not. Does anyone live there? No. And the other one, Christmas.
And the other one, yeah, some people, but it's not big, and it's an atoll. It's not really an island. And by the way, time difference wise, the Christmas Island of Australia near Indonesia is like 7 hours behind. So these are nowhere near each other, even though on a map, we look at Eurocentric maps all our lives, this looks like they're kind of in the same ocean, blah, blah, blah. They're like further away from each other than we are from New York. So, yeah, really far away. So, the Australian external territory is in the eastern Indian Ocean. That Christmas Island, it's 2,600 kilometers northwest of Perth, the nearest Australian city. Much closer to Jakarta in Indonesia than it is to Perth. It's a volcanic limestone island, who cares? That's for the geography perverts. But 63% of the island is a national park, which means that this may be the most paradise of all the paradise islands so far. Christmas Island.
Its capital is called Flying Fish Cove.
Yeah, Flying Fish Cove, also known as the settlement. Most locals just call it the settlement. And Flying Fish was a ship. So it was named after a ship. And interestingly, it was named after a ship that failed to make land there. And so some other people later named it after a ship that failed to start a settlement there a few years earlier or something.
Guess how many crabs they have?
They have a lot of crabs. So you figure this out as well. The first thing when you look at Christmas Island that comes up is the crab life.
Yeah.
They got some fantastic crab life, which sounds like something like a Snoop Dogg gang expression or something.
Yeah,
crab life. Yeah.
But they migrate each year from the center of the island to the beach. But guess how many?
Like millions. 3 million.
45 million.
45 million.
Estimated.
And they're the red crabs, right?
Yeah.
Christmas Island red crab migration is one of the main natural events there. There was also some crazy looking big crabs.
Coconut crab.
Yeah, like in the pictures there were some crazy big crabs.
Guess how long? 1 meter long?
1 meter long crabs.
4.1 kilograms.
That is crazy. That's a crazy sized crab. Yeah. Initially, no indigenous people came up, no indigenous population. The first recorded European sighting is widely believed to be Captain William Miners in 1643, but I've already found out that that's probably not true, that Europeans were there in 1615, maybe even 1614. Who was there before? Unclear, but it was uninhabited for centuries pretty much until
244 years.
Yeah, until the British Empire annexed it in 1887. Do you know why?
Queen Victoria wanted them to. Yeah.
Because they realized there are phosphate deposits there. Natural resources, basically. I didn't go into phosphates. Some chemistry pervert can send in what they're used for. So what happened with the phosphate thing is obviously that became mining for phosphates became the island's primary industry, and imported labor, mainly Chinese and Malay workers, who became the island's main population as well, mixed with white British, later Australian, and so the language and culture there is a mixture as well. And obviously, needless to say, because it was the British Empire, many of these were indentured workers, also known as slaves.
Not funny.
Yeah.
You can use Australian dollars.
Yeah, It's part of Australia. Australian
May I
currency.
just say, how would you insult me greatly on Christmas Island? What would you do to me?
I don't know.
I would touch your head.
Is that an insult?
Well, it's rude, very intimate, personal.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Next thing after British phosphate mining and all that is World War II, obviously. Pretty much every island paradise was fought for in a war, so no surprise, Japanese forces in 1942 occupy Christmas Island. After the war, it went back to British control until 1958 Christmas Island was formally transferred to Australia. And Australia has continued phosphate mining under government control there. Now, For current strategic importance, Google is reportedly building a new AI data center on Christmas Island. Not Kiritimati,
Oh.
but this Christmas Island, Australian Christmas Island. They've signed some kind of cloud deal with the Australian Department of Defense, and it's probably something to do with monitoring Chinese submarine and other naval activity in the Indian Ocean. Google is going to lease land near the airport of the island and put an AI data center on Christmas Island in the middle of the ocean. I don't want to say everything I may have read in rumors or heard from people in the industry, because that could be harmful to us winning the war. So I don't know how many people know about this, but yeah, it is a public knowledge. The rumors are public information. So much like Hunter Thompson would say, it is true that there is a rumor, because I started the rumor. Yeah, but I didn't start this rumor. This is a real thing. Let's just say we will continue monitoring that development. Any questions, Sylvia?
So, they also had a big detention centre, didn't they?
Yeah,
For
and
Australians.
they now do, yes. So
it's closed in 23.
Okay. So yeah, it was mainly, if anyone has heard anything about Christmas Island before, it would have been the immigration detention center that the Australians were running there. It was used for offshore immigration processing, particularly for asylum seekers arriving by boat. So yeah.
Particularly for criminal convicted ones.
Yeah. Which also I've heard from some of our friends of the show who are Australian, that every Australian has an opinion about Christmas Island, but they've never visited and know very little about it. A little bit more about animals in nature, right? The red crab migration, tens of millions of crabs, you mentioned that. Very well researched there, Sylvia. Sound like I'm congratulating a child for a school project.
Respond well to praise.
Yeah, during the crab migration, they close the roads and they build crab bridges and crab tunnels. Yeah.
I'd like to go to like turtle ones.
Yeah.
Help them.
Well, yeah, we've messed it up with our city lighting, right, and all that. They struggle to know where the ocean is when they get born. And all that.
Sad.
Yeah.
You know the bird, the legend, the booby. Straight out of Christmas.
Which one?
The Abbott's
Boobies.
booby. Yeah.
They live there.
Yeah.
Christmas Island. Cool. Yeah, I didn't find that out here. I didn't get that. I had just Christmas Island frigate bird and Abbott's booby. There it is. I did have it.
You must not be lying then.
No, you're not lying. I'm just shocked that I found it as well. I didn't remember that. There's also an extinct pipistrelle bat, and several native reptiles disappeared or survive only in captivity. Invasive species brought in by people, of course, are fucking up, because what they have is a high level of endemism. Do you know what that means?
No.
Endemism is when you have species that are found nowhere else. So they obviously probably don't have any defense against things that are then brought in by humans on boats and airplanes and stuff. So
yes.
With the ones that went extinct, the interesting thing apparently is that all the extinction events happened in modern times while actively being monitored, and that's quite rare. Yeah.
They didn't do any job, did they?
Yeah. Culture-wise and daily life-wise, there are only about 2,000 people on Christmas Island, but the culture is like a fun mix of Southeast Asian and Australian mainland culture. So, yeah, fun place to visit. Definitely, what do you think? Paradise or not a paradise?
I think if they could stop using it as a tactical space, it would be very
You're saying
parasitical.
Parasitical. Well, I think Google's parasitism is turning it into a non-paradise. Yeah, we've here visited now Australia technically in 2 episodes in a row. Not exactly a good time for Australia on the news. Having mentioned Hanukkah here and been in Australia. All I'm going to say about that is know your enemies. Who are your friends and who are your enemies in this world? Don't be a naive idiot. What about you, Sylvia? What Christmas Island, did this make you feel Christmassy or just a bit pissed off that it's raining here.
So I feel like you could definitely celebrate it there.
Mm.
However, I feel like the crabs would be a bit like stepping on a tinsel, like on a bauble when they crack under your feet when they're glass.
Well, I want to make something very clear about the crabs that we could have been clearer about when we said they're red crabs. That I know it confused a lot of people. We didn't mean to say that they're communist crabs.
Or that they're cooked, because some of them are only cooked red.
Yeah, so these
Yeah,
there's a very live red-colored non-communist crabs, as far as we know.
Canadian. Well, what about the purple ones? That's royal. They're royalists.
Yeah, I think purple is a bit LGBT these days, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I thought Christmas Island was fun. It was fun to do a little bit of actual research, look into it, you know. We also, when you look into these paradises, we found another one to do later on, perhaps. The Talking Ass podcast, in unrelated or perhaps related news, has found a new favorite German football club. So we are supporting Werder Bremen. Werder Bremen.
Why?
Right now, they're in the middle of the pack in the Bundesliga. So, well, every self-respecting European podcast should have a German football club. And we're going straight down the middle of the pack, Werder Bremen. So we're going to be following them.
Okay.
Do you remember who our NBA team is, basketball team? We also selected one for the year.
Finnish one, right?
Chicago Bulls.
Oh, yeah.
They're not too good. Not good at all. 10th in their own conference at the moment. So not even middle of the pack, bit below. That's about it from me. I have an epic public service announcement. If anyone gets it correct and knows where it's from, there are 2 correct answers here. Send it in through the website talkingasspodcast.com or talkingasspodcast@gmail.com. That's the hate mail inbox. Send in your answer. Where's this from? 2 correct answers and you can receive a prize. Don't drink from the cup of human kindness. It's a strange brew and poison to the touch.
Ooh.
Yeah. What's yours?
I thought I'd just tell you a bit of a Dickens quote. Ah, not the sane and the insane equal at night as the sane lie a-dreaming.
Oh, and there will be a full-length episode in the holiday period, because for the really astute and really clever listeners of the podcast, you may have figured out that I'm not actually what you would call a Christian.
Christ lover of the...
A Christian.
Lover of the God.
Yeah.
I'm a lover of the dog,
So
not a lover of God.
I wish everyone a very merry Christ Sabbath and all that, but I will be working, and there should be an episode full length with a guest right after, so you'll have something to listen to while if you're Finnish, your Christmas will be staring at the floor and drinking alone, so you can listen to it then. And if you're English, you'll be outside walking the dog, avoiding the family.
Yes.
So I'll give you something to listen to for the period.
Overstimulation from a family get together.
All right, fucking jingle bells, everybody, yeah.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.